It is impossible to avoid in the metro area over the last few days that haze that we have all noticed, especially if you've just even gone outside once. It has settled in to the area, it has moved out, and it has come back into Albuquerque again over these last few days. Today we're talking all about it, where it's coming from, how long it will last, among a lot of other elements, and that is a good chance to bring in our KRQE meteorologist Grant Tosterud here today into the KRQE News 13 digital studio. Grant, thanks for being here for the first time.
Chris, I'm glad to be here for the first time too. I'm excited to talk about something that everybody's been noticing and reaching out to us about.
Yeah, it again, has been like if you go outside, you felt it, especially in Albuquerque. A lot of people with the swamp coolers
Yes.
have felt it in their homes, and so
You can smell it. It's burning your eyes too. There's so much of it out there.
yeah, and there's a lot of elements to talk about, like why it's here and where it's coming from and whatnot. So let's just start with that. For those who don't know, where is all of this haze that we're seeing? And we're taking a live look here now. This is 1:10 p.m. on a Wednesday here, June 9th, excuse me. So you can see the mountains obscured a little bit, and it's been like this pretty much all week. But, Grant, to start off, for those who don't know, where is this smoke coming from? And should I put your weather graphics up here?
Yeah, let's take a look at weather graphics because we're now dealing with, I think this is the third day now of this smoke that's made its way into Albuquerque. And you can see that this was the time lapse from this morning over the last 6 hours. You can see that haze and smoke that settled into the Rio Grande Valley looking out towards downtown. Now this morning we actually did see some better visibility looking out towards the Sandias than we woke up to yesterday. However, that air quality is still hazardous out there as a result of that smoke that has moved in. These are all from wildfires burning over parts of western or eastern Arizona, that is east of Phoenix, kind of north of Tucson, especially the Telegraph fire and the Mezcal fire. You can see those there on your screen. We also have this other fire burning in the Gila, though. That's the Johnson fire. This is north of Silver City. Both of these are producing quite a bit of smoke up in the atmosphere. And the key to this, the reason we're seeing the smoke here in central New Mexico, here in Albuquerque, that stretches all the way up to Farmington too, even into the upper Rio Grande Valley, are these southwesterly winds. If the winds were not blowing in this direction, we would not have to be dealing with the smoke, but they are out of the southwest, and that's why we're waking up to all of this smoke, especially in the morning. And that has been giving way to those hazy sunsets, the hazy mornings too, reduced visibility. You can smell the smoke out there. It's impacting some people's health. So this is something that looks like we're going to be dealing with over the next couple of days still. We've been dealing with this week. We'll continue to deal with it through the rest of the week, too. You can see this. This is the look at the smoke forecast, that kind of area of whitish and orange there you see east of Phoenix. Yeah. That is where the Telegraph fire is burning. This is the forecast model picking up on that smoke that's lofted up into the air, and it has carried its way off to the northeast with the winds that I was just talking about. And you can see that kind of white fuzzy area here in central New Mexico and Albuquerque. That's more smoke that's going to move into the metro early tomorrow morning. So expect another hazy start to the day tomorrow. Very similar to what we saw yesterday and what we're going to see today. That smoke will clear up a little bit in the afternoon, but notice all that smoke again over east of Phoenix. That's the Telegraph fire. We're going to watch all that smoke return into the atmosphere as the fire flares up with some of the daytime heating. That will once again make its way into New Mexico. But the key difference, by Friday morning, the winds become more westerly as opposed to southwesterly. So that's going to push more of that thicker area of haze, thicker area of smoke into central New Mexico. So Catron County, Socorro County. Socorro, you're going to be waking up to some of the smokiest conditions yet by early Friday. And we're still going to be dealing with these kind of conditions likely into the end of the week, even as the haze may see an increase in visibility with the haze early in the morning on the weekends. We're still likely going to be dealing with some amount of smoke in the air all the way potentially into Sunday.
Wow. So I wanted to also bring it back out here to us, and you can kind of see this video here in the middle of our screen. This was just shot this morning by our photographer Vince Autry. He got some of these great images here this morning, and it goes to show you just sort of that dramatic effect that the smoke has, particularly in the mornings. And now I want to contrast that as well with kind of what we're looking at just even right now, currently, as we're taping this. This is now about 1 in the afternoon on Wednesday, June 9th. And you can see midday, things are looking a lot more clear compared to then, of course, when we go back to our video. And man, it is smoky in the morning. So you covered this a little bit already, but I wanted to just kind of hit that point again is, when people see that more smoke in the morning, why is that? I assume air temperature probably has something to do with it, but
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct. That's part of the factors. It's one of the factors that contributes to that really hazy start to the day. So you get, like I showed you, those fires kind of flare up in the afternoon in Arizona. Those southwesterly winds carry it into New Mexico. Through the day, they finally start to make their way into the central part of the state around 11, midnight, even towards 2 a.m. But you're right, it is a combination of the air temperature and the wind. So as that air or the wind blows that smoke into central parts of the state through the day and even into the overnight, those winds relax overnight and even become calm into the early morning. That allows all that smoke, all the smoke particles, those air particles, the ash, to settle down into the lower elevations into the early morning hours when the winds have calmed down. And then a combination of those temperatures, you factor those in, we then get we develop a layer of cooler air at the surface that kind of acts as an inversion, what we call it, or a cap on the atmosphere.
Right.
So that doesn't allow that air to rise in the early morning and traps all of the smoke, the ash, the smoke particles kind of in the lowest elevations possible. So that's why it's worst in the morning. And then into the afternoon, we get some of that daytime heating going, the air mixes out, we also get a little bit more wind developing, and that will help to clear out some of that smoke later into the day.
You know, you also mentioned to me before we got started here, you had this cool satellite image
Yes.
map,
Yeah.
and I want to put that here kind of up on our screen as soon as I can kind of punch it up here now. This is a look at what exactly? I know the states are in there, and we're looking at a lot of clouds as well.
Right.
But,
So
yeah.
you can see Arizona there in the center of your screen. All of that, the white clouds making their way from the southwest to the northeast, those are all clouds. So that's not what we're looking at. That's not smoke. However, if we zoom in to kind of east of Phoenix into eastern Arizona, you can see this fire, the Telegraph and Mescal fire burning.
Is that one right there?
Exactly, right where the mouse is circling. Those are the fires. That's that smoke being lofted up in the air on live satellite. This is taken every 5 minutes. So you can see that relatively near time, all the smoke being pushed up into the atmosphere and then carried off to the northeast with the upper level winds. And then we also have that other fire burning in the Gila. That's that Johnson fire north of Silver City. And you can actually see this one on satellite too. Yep, right there where we're circling the mouse. And, you know, thankfully this one's not producing as much smoke, but it is definitely producing enough smoke that you can see on satellite from space. And that will also be a contributing factor, especially for those from areas like Socorro down towards T or C, dealing with some hazier conditions into the end of the week.
No, of course, like, one of the reasons why we're talking about this is because it does ultimately have an effect on people. You know, not only does it sort of obscure our look of the mountains, and it's dramatic to kind of look at visually, but, you know, there are air quality alerts that get sent out with this. The city of Albuquerque issued another air quality alert here today. And I guess I just wanted to get some perspective about this, because we do see this happen from time to time every year. Like, I was just even looking on Twitter earlier today, like type in air quality Albuquerque, and I was finding tweets from reporters last year and the year before and the year before. So the point is, it happens before, but like, where do we look at this one in perspective, maybe even just in recent perspective, and how bad are things air quality wise?
You know, this one reminds me of a lot of fires we had last year too. Around the 4th of July, we had a very similar situation. There were major fires that blew up around the Phoenix area around the 4th of July last year, and the same southwesterly winds got kind of smoke here into central New Mexico and into Albuquerque too. Now that lingered for probably about 2 weeks, just because those fires were so massive, and we had that same kind of setup over a several-day period. So this kind of reminds me of that about a year ago at this time. Now, I was just looking this morning. There are some air quality monitoring sites around the Albuquerque metro area. One of them is at Del Norte High School. And this morning, I was just checking it. They use what's called an air quality index. And that's kind of on a scale of 0 being perfectly healthy air to well over 300, where it's unhealthy for everybody to be outside. And this morning at Del Norte, it was measured to be 154 at the last time I checked, which is considered unhealthy. And that does mean that the air is unhealthy for just about every member of society to be outside for prolonged periods of time in this kind of smoky conditions.
Yeah, and it is, again, pretty dramatic when you look at this video here shot this morning. I did want to give people kind of a look at some of the resources as well that are on our website here on KRQE.com. And of course, we are updating the website with articles each day kind of about what this haze is doing and the air quality and whatnot. So you're just getting a look at one of our articles here from today, and we've got some of the graphics that I know you take a look at a lot of times.
Yes.
From here's one from the NOAA regarding some of the surface smoke forecasts, at least for the day. That's that one here, and we've got a lot of other links in there as well some of the great images as well. This one coming from Jason Callahan.
Definitely been giving us some good sunrises and sunsets, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then as well, you know, we've got a sort of look on here of a national kind of look about air quality. You can see that sort of those red and orange splotches there, indicating, you know, what we've been talking about, that Albuquerque is really sort of getting the brunt of this. So a lot of resources on that page, updated with tweets from our meteorologists here as well. And as well, you know, this is not entirely related, but pollen and air quality, pollen works into this as well, and how people can function outside. We've also got this kind of pollen tracker that is online on krqe.com here as well. So, you know, Grant, one of the other things, of course, I think you've touched on this a little bit, but what are the things you touched on, the idea of, you know, you're getting great pictures and whatnot from people. What are the things that people are asking you right now that you're trying to put answers out about?
You know, a lot of people are asking us, of course, where is the smoke coming from? Because you'd think it would be a lot closer to Albuquerque, but it's all the way into eastern Arizona, east of Phoenix, north of Tucson. So it's coming from a ways away. So that's been a common question that I get, is where is it coming from? It's from those two major fires down near Phoenix and Tucson. However, we still have the Johnson fire in the Gila, and that's going to continue to bring smoke to other parts of the state too. Another question is, when is it going to lift? It's kind of a tough question because right now it does look like it's going to continue through the rest of the week. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of clearing through the weekend, but it is in part thanks to this high pressure that's giving us all of this heat right now here across New Mexico that's definitely making it feel a lot like summer, and that looks like it's going to be a relatively consistent pattern too, at least into the weekend. Now there will be some kind of micro scale changes in the forecast for parts of the state that will help clear out some of that smoke, so that's some good news. But like I said, overall, kind of expect the same conditions we've been seeing this week into Friday. Wow. Hopefully starting to see a little bit of clearing and improvement by the weekend. Yeah,
Grant, I know you like to get out there and go hiking.
Yes.
What would you tell somebody right now who likes to go do that?
You know, this week, not the week to go hiking at all. We're watching the dangerous air quality, and like I said, it peaks in the morning, which is with the summer heat settling in, that's when you'd want to get out and go hiking. So maybe as much as you want to do it, I would wait until this weekend, especially into next week, because right now the air quality is definitely dangerous for even healthy individuals to be dealing with.
Yeah, well, Grant, thank you for your expertise. I know we'll be kind of tracking all of this going along with you, with your help, of course, tracking all of this for KRQE. And folks, if you have any questions, of course, you can reach Grant on Twitter. Grant, how do people reach you? I know your Twitter handle is on screen there as well.
Yeah, you can reach me at Grant Tosterud WX on Twitter. You can find my professional Facebook page. That's also Meteorologist Grant Tosterud. You can email me at gtosterud or grant.tosterud at krqe.com.
And actually, I was going to say, for the record, gtosterud at krqe.com, that works as well.
Also works.
That works as well. You can just use that first initial. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Grant, thanks again for being a part of this conversation here today, and we look forward to maybe seeing a little bit of relief here in the near future.
I hope we can too. Thank you for having me, Chris.